Today's weekly discussion. When did you first feel like an adult? When I crossed the street for my first time by myself. Now, a lot of you might be asking, I'm sorry, what? Why? What do you mean? Well, as you all know, I'm visually impaired. And because of that, for me personally, with how much vision I have, and I'm just going to say this now because I don't know if I actually really talked about this in any recent videos. I think I definitely may have mentioned it when I was, when I'm yapping on streams with people, or maybe I mentioned it in a short before, because I do know this question comes up a lot with, just the fact that I think even in my description now, it says that I'm visually impaired. So, a lot of people either A, know that and then ask questions, or B, don't know that. And because of that, they ask these questions like, why are you not using your camera? Or I don't know why I was about to do the mocking voice. I'm not trying to do that today. But no, like why are you always showing your ceiling? Or why are you not using your camera correctly? Why can we never see you? Or, stuff like that. I'm visually impaired. I have light perception. I can see shadows for that reason because I can tell when the light is on or off. So, for instance, right now, my desk light is on because I normally don't like having the light on in here just because the darkness is my friend. But aside from that, and because of that, I can definitely differentiate between certain colors, but it has to be like a really dark color or a really light color. Other than that, colors that are like in between, I can sometimes do good with those, but at the same time, most of the time, I kind of suck at telling which one is which when it comes to those. But for that reason, that makes crossing the street very difficult depending on what's going on. As in, those, if you've ever seen these, for anyone who knows what I'm talking about, if you're in like the city, they have these white lines that are in like sort of a pattern for the crosswalk on the street. So like obviously, let you know where to cross. Not every street has those, however, so it's not always easy to just use those. And for that reason, sometimes I have to just focus on hearing cues, which isn't always easy either. Or auditory cues, which isn't always easy either because I can't hear 100%. So I have to really lock in and focus, especially if there's a car that's like surging. That'll let me know it's my turn to go, but it's kind of quiet. So that's not always easy. That's something when we were in the city that my father and I worked on a lot because that was very nerve-wracking for me. So when I finally crossed a big street by myself, now, little thing about that, we worked up to that point. Like Dad got me to that point and was like, do you think you can do this? And I said yes, and for that reason, I crossed all the streets to get to the store. And then it was time for me to cross to get to the store fully because, I had crossed, I think, only 3 streets, if I'm remembering correctly at this point. I can't speak today. So I had one more street to cross, and that was a big street, which was dangerous because, the light only turns green for people to walk for, a limited amount of time. And me over here have to try to be careful, but also be fast. And it's a big street, and people don't really pay attention the way they should to when people are crossing at all, especially when it's a blind person. If you're in the city, you're always in a rush, whether it's Manhattan, the Bronx, whatever. So that's just how it is. But what I didn't know is while I ended up being able to safely cross that street on my own, my dad was actually like behind me, I think, almost the whole time before he just finally, I think there was a time where he said he stopped and finally let me do it by myself. But I could be wrong. From what I know, I think he did say, if I'm really remembering it correctly, honestly, I don't know. But I think it was either he stopped for a while. I think he was going to say something when we got to the big straight, but he didn't. But he was, like I said, behind me pretty much almost the whole time, just to make sure, obviously, like, I don't want my son getting hurt. But he saw me cross it by myself both times and got really proud, which I was proud of. So that made me feel like an adult, literally just because of the fact that, like, this is something that I knew before we moved I would have to do as an adult by myself when I got older. And the fact that I was able to accomplish that when, I'm not even going to lie to any of you, I was terrified. Very terrified. But I pushed through, got through it, and did it like that. No matter how terrifying it was. So I think that was, if I can think back further, even then, I think that was the first time I really ever truly felt like an adult. And, really felt proud of myself for accomplishing that, because we had seriously worked our way up to that. And it wasn't easy, but I got through it. But now, if you want to, you don't have to, but if you want to, feel free to answer this question yourselves in the comments section. When did you first feel like an adult? Hope you guys enjoy this. See you guys in the next one.